Maama olina Zedriga Walu gutulina ngono ye mumyoka omukulembeze Kyagulanyi Center mu Robert Bobi Wine acting eranga ensonga zitugenda okwogerako za kujjako nakyamala gino Kaguta Museveni alina obaka kale katutandike endowooza mangu ago tumufune ebigambo abitugambe.
Thank you. I salute you all. Bakutumide, nkuntumide mwena, ezimi warotiti. Yes, I apologize. I am extremely late, but we are working on some of the modalities for Mitiana. I want to thank you for always being on this space on Saturdays. It means a lot. It adds a lot. It inspires. It's a planning space. It's a re-energizing space. Having sent that apology, I hope it is accepted. Yes, you have all witnessed, you have all encouraged, you have all prayed from Kamuli when Mama decided to listen to the president, boots on the ground, because it is no more normal. So we have to meet these guys. Yeah, we also met with the police, of course, with a lot of reservations. And the resilience is real. The inspiration from the ground you have seen from Kamuli. Even when we are blocked, the population runs through the forest. That for me is the most inspirational. That's why I even got off the comfort of the car and ran with the men and the women in Kamuli. Yes. So what do we make of this population? Having gone to Masaka, when we were told there are buses of SF, whatever, and all the ammunitions, and indeed we were tear gassed. There's one thing the team with the president has resolved: tear gas, live bullets, whatever. This is our country. There are prices to be paid. 2, the population, the crowd by the roadside up to Masaka, even when we were taken on, I don't know which hills and valleys, women were running with babies on their back. Young people were running. These are not people who are paid to do that. They love their country. They are inspired. What do we make out of it? We have a formidable force. We have demystified fear. Fear, totally. And no ifs, no buts. Yes, those messagings are very important. And follow up that this is just not a one stopover and we're going to go around and, no, we need to not do it as a one over, but an event continuously. We are foot soldiers on the ground. Some of them even yesterday and the other day in Kamuli, Mukono, were arrested. So we need to follow up with them to be an inspiration. We profile them. We continue to let them pass the messages. With Masaka now, actually, if you follow the comedian who said, among the artists who said, let us, we are ready for the Okulamaga. Like we are going to Namugongo, but we end up, we know where, Entebbe. That is the continuous call. And of course, demanding also linking this up to the our missing people, the Chibalamas and those whom the Bobi Young and all those. We continue to mention them. We continue to let them inspire us. We continue to look for more inspirations as you people also continue to do more planning for the transition, because that for me is coming. There is no question. There is no question. But now how do we land on it? And how do we, because we're now struggling, we think the door is still closed. It is not. The population has opened the door. We are going to walk right in. So how we walk in is very critical. We should not struggle and fall in. We should walk in with our clear agenda, and that's what the Ugandans are calling here and all over, and it would be very interesting also and excited for me to be able to sleep when you people are all coming back and we're rebuilding our countries built on the principles of humanity and respect for human rights. I am very, energized. I am very resolved. I am, in fact, all the traces of whatever the ifs and doubts, I removed them. I tell even in those who understand Luganda, the president has said now my Luganda is the epitome. I should continue to speak Luganda or Chitegera, so that we will speak to people in their languages, to their hearts. People are resolved. Yesterday, coming back across from the road, people are by the roadside, 10 p.m. in the night. It was 10, 11. It was so energizing. You just feel it. I can't explain it. You just have to feel it. So continue with this pace. Continue with it. Continue with the resolve. But now move from the book of Lamentations and the book of Acts of the Apostles. Let's go to the Revelations as we walk in. I am very honored. I am very humbled. And still, my apologies for coming very late. Thank you. Mwebale nyo, mwebale redala. Awali fo, asante sana. Shukran.
Thank you so much, Professor, Dr. Zedriga, for that very energizing submission. We are glad that people are energized, and as you said, Okulamaga Namgongo from like this Okulamaga to Muntebe. So that's action. Thank you very much, and we wish you the very safe travels as we continue the mobilization. And of course, not forget our people that, as you said, being abducted. We should get their names, their particulars, so that we can follow up. We here in the diaspora can also do what we can to ensure that our people that are, many of them are the brains behind the mobilization, are not forgotten as we go forward. So thank you so much, Dr. Zedriga, for that wonderful submission, and greetings to all the foot soldiers and the leaders that are doing the work. Thank you so much. Ismail,
yes.
Take it over.
The revolution will be televised. That's so we've got our Comrade Madways. He's been patiently waiting. Comrade Madways, please unmute and speak to us. Thank you.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I welcome everyone who is here. I welcome Madam Lina. You are so energetic. I've been watching you since from Kamoli, Mokono. I watched you. The vibe is high. I've seen Akleo. I salute you. Security man. I love your work and I respect you so much. Now, Madam Lina, you said that we are seeing where we are going, but how are we reaching there? Are we going in the same saga we had 2020, 2021? Are we going to be in the same situations? Because for God's sake, we've talked since 2017, 18, 19, 2020, we are still talking. If there is any Ugandan who hasn't learned, that Ugandan will never learn. If there is any Ugandan who has never opened his mind, whose brains are not yet open, that one will never learn. But are we going in the elections again? So that some of us we find difficulties because our voices, some of us are not heard. But when you get chance and you find, for example, people on the ground, the foot soldiers, when they're making their lives, and you try to bring in something, they'll attack you because you are not on ground, you don't know what we're going through here. But sometimes you are bringing an idea. For example, some months back, before the traders going into their protests, I was bringing in an idea of shut down Kampala. I just wrote in one of the foot soldiers as he was doing his live. The guy was so mad at me. Funny thing, after like a week, the traders went into a protest. Ugandans, I know many Ugandans are ready, but they only need one voice. They will only listen to one voice, and that is the president's voice. And I think what I think in a revolution, it is not the right thing. Truth is, we've talked, we've lost people in prisons, people in jails, and next year we are going into again the same saga. Madam Lina, is it the way we are taking it again, or should we expect something before? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Comrade Madwe. Before we go back to Dr. Elena, we'll go to David SS and then Reggie. I will close us off. And then...
David, unmute, please. David,
the mic.
I don't know. Oh, David, there
Yes,
is.
hello. Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Yes, greetings to everyone. I would like to thank Madam Zedriga and the team, because you are the one who is present, but everyone was energized on these previous rallies, and we thank you so much. So it keeps on giving us hope and momentum to do even the little we can contribute towards this change. So we thank you so much. During these rallies, my observation, as we know very well for us, we are fronting on a global platform. We are missing this communication to be disseminated to the and keeps on making coverage, but we miss someone who can deliver information internationally through the international languages like English and Swahili. Swahili is so important, and it has an impact if we try to be organized, and we find someone who can use those moments to explain to the world what is taking place. So there are so many coverages, but we tend to use our language, which is not bad. But for us as a diaspora, we need to be catered for, not as Ugandans, but as the partners whom we are trying to attract into this venture. So it is my humble request to Madame Zedriga, at least to do some arrangement, and we get one camera constantly and persistently to give information, clarity, and even some background where we have been, where we are, and where we are trying to go, in conjunction with the action and activities which are being done on Ugandans by the regime. But we are missing that one. Other people try to say, mutulabye bano bali eno wabulaba oli ali ku miti bannange kino kikambwe nnyo. Those ones we understand because we are Ugandans, we know what is taking place, but we are trying to target those international community, those ones who can get access to our rallies. Let them have information from what is going on. It will be, I think, so good for us who are in diaspora, and to those ones who are trying to coordinate in different points of partners who are trying to assist us. So that was my, I think that was my idea on the previous rallies we've been having. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
Hello.
Comrade David. Yes. Hello, Comrade Reggie. How are you?
Humbly recognized. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Getting you well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you got any questions for Dr. Zedriga before you close?
Questions? I guess I missed out something because I came on a little bit late. I didn't realize we're asking you questions. Are we asking you questions?
No, I wouldn't be able to answer them. For Dr. Zedriga.
Oh, Dr.
Yeah.
Lena.
Yeah.
No. That one is just God sent. That one,
Yeah.
if God can give us at least 2 more of those ones, we will take one to the US, then the other one to Europe, then the other one stays in Uganda. Yes, and then the devil will not have anywhere to rest.
He will be finished.
So quickly, I had the previous speaker who talked about Swahili and the camera. Yeah, I think that's good wisdom. If there was a camera that had Swahili,
What are we
yeah, it
saying?
would be a little bit more international too. But what I wanted to say quickly is sometimes we see these things more physical than spiritual. Quickly, and usually for me, I talk to Christians because there are many Christians, no offense to any other beliefs. We are all after justice and equity. But for us Christians, this is how I have viewed, because right now God is doing a lot of transition from deception that has been holding Uganda and Ugandans. For a long time, Uganda has been under a lot of deception. I want to give an example of, at one time, it was you'd be a hero if you punished slaves by burning them. First of all, as they are hanging on the rope, you're lighting a fire, then you take photos, and then those photos would sell so expensively. That's the world we live in. It was a culture. These people had hidden the truth so much to the general population of the world until God blew up that deception. So the world started seeing the United States for what it was. In the US, they would burn blacks, hang them, tie ropes around their legs and drag them by the vehicle until the skin came off. And they did that, they took photos, and the photos would be on sale on the streets. So Museveni came with a lot of deception. They overturned everything. A hero would be somebody who has no manners, no fabric of integrity at all. A hero would be a thief. That's why you see looters would be greeted in the marketplaces, would be worshipped. They would be given all sorts of attention. That has been blown away. They are now naked. They have nowhere to hide. It has gone so viral, and thanks to Ugandans, thanks to People Power, thanks to NUP, thanks to all allies who are human and believe in good manners, just morals. So right now, we are the ones that are having the baton. Because before, we'd run on the buttons of Museveni. He switches this way, we follow. He switches this way, we follow. But now everything has been blown high sky. So it's tipping. And that is what God has done. And we need to always have a moment to thank God in everything that we do, because the power we gave Museveni, us, the money we gave Museveni, the attention we gave Museveni, he could have just swept us like this if God wasn't in this. He had a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of attention. He could just do anything. But today, no. And things are changing. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, and back to you.
Yes, thank you very much. So we've got Godfrey's got his hand up, and Comrade James. Can I just give you a minute each before we close off? Starting with Godfrey.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ismail, and everyone who has submitted. It's very nice to hear from our Dr. Lina, always very inspirational to us from day one. We don't take that for granted. And on the point Sister Demi made regarding Kunga, for one, I see great work being done by Kunga, by Chairman Nyanzi, because he's a mobilizer by, I say it's in his blood. He's a mobilizer, he's a doer, a practical man. Now, knowing Uganda as it is, it's very difficult to mobilize, bring plan to public with the regime, because everywhere you go regime operators. Now, by the time we see actions on the street, you know that Kunga has been mobilizing, has been finding out ways, learning ways to do things differently on the ground. And that should be really applauded. So not all planning should come to us on social media. It's difficult. Certain things we don't need to know, but they are there working on the ground as leaders, because it's not a one-man band. But under difficult circumstances, I salute them, and I salute our soldiers. I've seen Commander Achileo Chivumbi on here. Much appreciated his work and dedication. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ismail, you're muted.
Yes, I think my point will be very brief, and maybe Lina, I said something when you were not here, I don't know, but I was like, yesterday, the state here, for us where we are, there was a demonstration on fuel, the cost of at the pump, and we did it at half the price, and legislators were almost at every pump trying to discuss policy, how policy affects fuel, and how fuel turns into our homes. Now, I just wanted to mention one thing, that we need to do something differently, perhaps. And Lina, I'm wondering, it's like when I see Lina, I see Mama Noop from Mbarara, I see everyone, it's like we have lumped up all our eggs in one basket. How do we get this divided such that when there's a Western axis, you remember how that liberation was, there's an Eastern axis, there should be a central axis, such that these guys are overwhelmed. If you want to use the military, they get overwhelmed. The costs should be created for them if they're interested in running after people. And there should be an established value. For example, for us here, it is now fuel that is driving the cost. That's an established value. That is non-political. Every family is crying because the fuel pump at almost $4. We are working just for fuel. And so if the Kasita people, for example, understand and you are able to work with them, a cost of living in Uganda should be something that is neutral. If we say nope, there are people who are falling off and are not caring. How do we get you people to mobilize us at that level? Lina, that is something I'm looking at. Electricity, which you have been deceived for years, all regime in West Nile should be a block there. And people demonstrate because of that. Yes, I appreciate the crowds. I liked seeing Mama Lina jumping on a motorbike. It was fun. But I want us to go beyond that fun, Mama Lina. Thank you.
Ismail, you're
Yes,
muted.
yeah, so sorry. I thought I was muted. I was unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, I think we are closing. Do you want someone? Yeah, I think it's about time to close.
I thought we were gonna get one closing remarks from Dr. Rina Rodriguez
Oh yeah,
before we close.
yes, yeah. Before she comes in, let me.
And also we have a message in the chat from Comrade Mimi and also Joe Whitecastle.
Great. Great. You can read those. Let me just make my point because I think Mr. McKinney's last point was extremely important. How we and also Madway said we're gonna do the same thing. Are we gonna do the same thing we've been doing since over 20 years and no different results? Are we gonna go into elections again? That is something I think for to really kind of think through and perhaps find strategies around. That was a very important point by Madways, and I share his sentiments there. But the last point that Mr. McGinn has just made is extremely important. Having different access, in different parts of the country, so that we are not putting all our eggs in one basket. So we are now mobilizing. We are all in Masaka. What about dispersing our efforts, whereby when we are mobilizing, of course, there was only one president, so perhaps that's a bit of an issue. But still, even if it's in Masaka, maybe some other action could be happening somewhere else. I think that's the point that Mr. McGinn has brought up, and it's very, very important because all different parts of the country have issues and challenges with electricity, with water, with roads, with whatever, And as I said, dispersing the regimes, kind of like they don't know even where to start. Obviously, they're going to focus more where the president is or whatever, but perhaps if it's in Gulu, we are doing something in Masaka or whatever. And so that the efforts, they're so dispersed that they don't even know where to start. So that was very important. And then also that goes back to, I think, the Ms. Demi's point of civil disobedience. How do you combine all these efforts to make it so costly and difficult for the regime to contain us and to also empower? And Madame Rodriguez said the people are energized. Yes, they're energized, but we need to direct their energy into a more productive way to see that there is change. And of course, I think Iga was saying that, Mr. The Skunga campaign is doing a great job. Yes, they're doing a good job, but I think the issue is not so much are they doing a good job. Obviously, they're getting people on the streets, but how do we channel that energy that Madame Rodriguez is talking about into something more concrete, something that Okulamaga, how do we get there? How do we become more effective in that respect? Thank you so much. That's my, I think, last point. And then Madame Rodriguez and Ismail, you can close us off.
Yes, I do believe that we will get there, and we're in a better position than we were not so long ago. So now, Dr. Rina, you're here. So the mic is yours.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. I want to salute you, the hosts, and I also want to salute every member here present for your resilience and your love for our country. I salute our president for doing and placing us where we are. We were asleep. We were in our wardrobes. He woke us up. I stated that in Luganda, in Mukono, that we don't take for granted. I salute all of you for your resilience, because each time they try to plant us, to bury us, and as the president rightfully said, they forget we are seeds, we germinate. we germinate more and more. Let's keep that going on. In the interest of time, the first person who spoke was saying expressing his frustration that he was not listened to. My sincere apologies. Every comment, positive contribution matters. It matters. The more, the merrier. And I disagree with you when you said we are just talking and talking, which means you didn't go to Kamuli with us, which means you didn't go to Mukono. So I'm inviting you to be with us in Mitiana and going to the west and also going to northern Uganda, because we are in action right now, and legally so, for that matter, and together. Yes, I want to also point to us the environment under which we operate, perceived and cooked. For example, before we left for Masaka, there was this posting that, oh, they have posted all kinds of people. Hey, you cannot come here wearing red. There should be no beret and so on. We all were directed to be in and inspired to be in overall red and beret and boot. And we all went in that. So it's about defiance and self-resolve and conviction. It comes from your heart. It comes from your heart, to be or not to be, now or never. So you continue to speak, continue to advise, continue. Do not get frustrated. Don't go back to the closets, as I usually say. The environment is very, very hostile. The militarization has gone to another level. But we are also resilient. And we continue with the prayers. I joined that with my brother. Thank you so much. This warfare is now spiritual. I remember praying all the mysteries of the rosary from here up to Masaka and back. And I want to thank the Lord and all of you that you see, at least we delivered and we were there when Nyendo were everywhere. What was planned with. So the Lord, we must pray. And that's why also before we set off, we pray. Different denominations. The power of prayer cannot be underestimated. The power of prayer. We must all go back spiritual and pray, because what is happening in Uganda, it is evil. So we have to pray and pray and pray. Kunga is excellent. I salute Honorable Nyanzi. I salute him and his team. And I'm glad Akileo is here. The way he is leading, and also with Eddie Mutuez, the security team, the transport team, it's amazing. I just look at them and my tears flow, not because I'm sad, but because I am inspired. Achilles knows. He knows it. He knows it. So we continue to encourage and appreciate that great effort, that sacrifice. Even when there's one who was knocked, limping, jumping down and limping. You know, he was knocked by a border, of course. Those were some of the things. Even me, I was knocked. But you continue, you pick yourself. So that spirit of resilience and togetherness will continue. And Dr. Mugenye, I salute you so much. Yes, in fact, wherever, because everybody now has something to stand up for, whether it's electricity, whether it is school fees, whether it is food, whether whatever. So we welcome those. And in fact, it does not even now have to come from the president. He has opened our eyes. He has taken us to the water. Let us fetch this water. He has taken us, but let's do it together. I salute my president, the Secretary General, the LOP. You have seen, the LOP is everywhere, you know, and leading, you know, it is amazing what the Lord is doing right now to all of us. And those who come from prison, from Kamuli, they were with us in Masaka. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So let's continue with that. Yes, the environment is hostile, but we need to continue to operate in this militarized, reinvented, to terrorize us. And even the online ones, for me, I've learned to ignore them, you know, because I am answerable to an almighty God up there and to two categories of people, the dead and the unborn. And I don't speak their language. So they are the ones holding me accountable. And we also take not advantage, but we also connect with the current activities, even internationally. The sanctions, I want to salute the president because he sparked that. The London team, that meeting, the closed meetings, now it has caught fire. We are waiting for Canada and the rest and the rest. And that means a lot how it translates itself to delivering the new Uganda and reclaiming our stolen victory. Yes, the deception has been there, but they are now naked, exposed. So, like what is going on in Parliament right now, very interesting. The sanctions are going on, and it is an accountability issue. And the timing for us is perfect because people want to retain their seats. But now, between their seats and not having it is the sanction, is their signature. So I would like to call upon each one of you. Let us encourage one another. Reach out. Achilleos, thank you so much. You're really appreciated. I take the issue of Swahili, English, and other languages very seriously. And Achilleos, on Monday, when we're in Namugongo. On Tuesday, even before that, I'll try to send it as a communication such that it is acted upon. And indeed, it is very critical to have everybody in. And this mission now is leaving no one behind, being very inclusive and listening to all of you, the messages you send, the quotes you send, the Bible and Quran quotes, the blessings. And some of them even send for us and the foot soldiers water, boxes of water and glucose, so that we really don't take for granted, because you are sacrificing and holding us also accountable, holding us accountable, not always, not just say, don't go here, don't go there, but pray and say, have courage and proceed. So I want to thank you all. I want to thank the team under the President of His Excellency, the de facto and de jure President of the Republic of Uganda, as we reclaim our stolen victory, as we deliver a new Uganda, as we await to rebuild, and with courage. There will be costs. It's very costly, but we are resolved. So I want to thank you, and I pray I will join you again very soon. On Tuesday, we're in Mitiana, subject to a number of regulations, but we're ready, and we will hold those. And of course, the prayers. Thank you. Kunga, Uganda is bleeding. Kunga. Thank you. People power, our power.
Ismail. Okay, so close, or do we have one more person? I guess that was the last speak. How can you follow that?
You can't.
Okay.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we shall see you here next week on Saturday, same time as usual. We did have some chats. Please make sure you click on the links that were shared by Dr. William Genyi. Please make sure you click on those links and share them. We also had from Mimi, there's a meeting directly after this at 6 o'clock.
byebyo mwena buli omu gy'oli twongeremu okulwana ennyo tulabe gyate tutereeza ensi yaffe, tulabe nga tutereeza buli kitugenda okutuyamba ogoba nakyemalira, tusobole okutereeza ensi yaffe, tusobole okweyagala, tusobole okulaba ensi yaffe nnungi, tusobole okulaba nga buli kimu ekituyambako kigenda okuzimba edduniya nga tukikola oba nakyemalira, tugobewo ab'emitima emicaafu, tusobole okutereeza ensi yaffe. Baagala nnyo, Mukama Katonda akuume, tujja kuba tuddamu nange mweraba.